This is an absolutely tragic and devastating day for York County and for the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We grieve for the loss of life for 3 precious souls who served this county.
Tragedy in York County, one of the deadliest days for police officers in Pennsylvania in 25 years.
I can confirm that there were 5 law enforcement officers who were shot today. 3 fatally, 2 that were transported here to WellSpan in York. They are currently listed in critical but stable condition.
This morning, honoring those who lost their lives in the line of duty as a community grieves. The latest information we're learning this morning, our live team coverage starts right now.
Now, live with breaking news. This is ABC 27 News Daybreak.
Thursday, 6 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. I'm James Cromwell. We'll get a look at traffic and weather in just a couple of minutes. But first, we want to get to our top story, that deadly police shooting in York County. It is being described as one of the deadliest days for law enforcement in Pennsylvania this century. Our live team coverage begins with Allie Langan. She is at the Northern York County Regional Police Department. Good morning, Allie.
Good morning, James. An absolutely horrific day for law enforcement here in York County and really across the state of Pennsylvania. As you said, 5 officers were shot in the line of duty. 3 of them did not survive. There are still so many unanswered questions this morning, including where those officers worked. But yesterday, State Police Commissioner Colonel Christopher Paris did say that state police were taking over the calls for the Northern York County Regional Police Department. There was a solemn procession last night through York County as the bodies of the fallen officers were taken to the York County Coroner's Office. First responders and community members lined the roads to pay their respects to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. This all started around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon when officers were serving a warrant on Har Road in a rural part of North Codorus Township. State police say they were following up on a domestic-related incident that began the day before Tuesday. While serving that warrant, 5 officers were shot. Again, 3 did not survive. The other 2 are hospitalized this morning. Police say officers were able to shoot the suspect, killing him, and that there is no longer a threat to the public. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the FBI and ATF are on the scene assisting local officers.
Our hearts and prayers go out to them, to the families of the deceased and the families of those officers who were wounded. There are simply no words that I can offer to assuage the grief that this community has experienced and unfortunately will continue to experience. The grief will be unbearable, but we will bear it.
And as you can see, there is a growing memorial here at the Northern York County Regional Police Department. People stopped by yesterday evening throughout the night to pay their respects. They prayed for the officers who were affected and left flowers and other tokens. Of course, this morning, people are also praying for the 2 officers who did survive. They are hospitalized this morning. That is where we find our Erica Moffett-Dilk. She is live at WellSpan York Hospital with the very latest. Erica.
Allie, the 2 officers that were injured during yesterday's shooting were taken here to WellSpan York Hospital. The last update we were given is that they were in critical but stable condition. There are still a number of details Pennsylvania state troopers have not confirmed, one of which is where the officers who were shot are from. State police did, however, say they are helping Northern York Regional Police handle their calls. That department last suffered the loss of an officer in the line of duty back in 2008. Officer David Tome was struck by a passing motorist as he was conducting an accident reconstruction on Route 15 in Franklin Township. And more recently, York County has mourned the death of West York Borough officer Andrew Duarte, who died in the line of duty back in February while responding to a shooting at UPMC. Yesterday, the pastor at Trail of the Church Nazarene in York County guided a group of people gathered outside the Northern York Regional Police Department in prayer.
We're praying for their families as they're going through what they're going through, and then also praying for the officers that are going to have to pick up the duties and carry through.
ABC 27 News will continue to monitor the condition of the 2 police officers who have been hospitalized here. We will bring any additional information that we get to you as soon as we have it. But for now, we're going to send it back to Allie.
All right, thank you so much. Erica Moffett-Dilks live in York this morning. Governor Josh Shapiro says he spent time with the families of the officers who were affected by this yesterday. Now, comforting grieving communities is not technically a part of his job description, but it's something he's been called to do far too often. Here's Dennis Owens.
Governor Shapiro began his day in the city of Chester to trumpet the fact that violent crime there is down. By the end of the day, it was the opposite story here in York County. An hour before ashen-faced officials entered and the awful details confirmed, bagpiper Jamie Miller was in the same room, warming up.
Just another tragedy. It means another tragedy.
Miller's presence a confirmation of its own.
We pipe our fallen home. And long standing tradition that goes years back, all the way back to World War I.
In this case, 3 fallen. A triple tragedy.
There are simply no words that I can offer to assuage the grief that this community has experienced and unfortunately will continue to experience. The grief will be unbearable, but we will bear it.
May God bless and watch over those families that are suffering right now.
Not the first such condolences Shapiro's offered in York, in this place. In March, Officer Duarte was shot and killed.
This kind of violence isn't okay. We need to do better as a society. We need to help the people who think that picking up a gun, picking up a weapon is the answer to resolving disputes. We need to do better when it comes to mental health. We need to do better when it comes to looking out for those who are in need so we don't have to deal with tragedies like this.
And so we don't have to call bagpipers like Miller, who vows to always be ready, but hopes to never be needed.
It's just a way that we honor each other to this tragedy.
It is all too common. 4 York County police officers killed now in less than a year. All too common, the governor urging for the violence to stop. Sadly, it has not. In York, I'm Dennis Owens.
And the governor did issue an order that all U.S. and Commonwealth flags be flown at half-staff to honor the York County officers affected by this tragedy. James, so many unanswered questions still this morning. As we've been saying, we do not know where these officers were from, and their names have not been released. We also don't have any information about the suspect in this case, including a potential name or a motive. State police say they plan to release much more information later today. Let's send things back to you.
And as we wait for those answers to those questions, whenever something like this happens, we take a moment to reflect, and we're looking back and thinking about the history of how these types of things happen. And you guys, both of you, touched upon the recent history of this happening in the mid-state with police officers dying. But Allie, we also said that this was one of the deadliest, not just in the mid-state, but the entire state. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So back in 2009, you may recall that 3 Pittsburgh police officers were shot and killed while responding to a call. As of yesterday, that was the deadliest incident for law enforcement in Pennsylvania this century. Of course, with the 3 lives lost yesterday, that was equally deadly. So that's why police are saying that this was one of the deadliest incidents in Pennsylvania in this century. But, you know, talking about Andrew Duarte, who was killed in the line of duty earlier this year in York County at that shooting at UPMC Memorial, you remember the outpouring and the response in the wake of his death? The community was brought to its knees when 1 officer was lost earlier this year. And today, this morning, we are tragically talking about 3 officers who have lost their lives, 2 others who are, from what we understand, fighting for their lives in the hospital this morning. It is just something that is unprecedented. It is something that no community ever wants to experience.
Absolutely. And also was just listening to Dennis's interview with the bagpiper, talking about, being the one that goes around, and when you see him, that something tragic has happened, and that is absolutely the case here again today, Allie.
It is, and you can just tell by this growing memorial that is happening behind me. You can tell by people stopping to pray for these officers and coming to the police station. There is a prayer vigil scheduled at the Alliance Church in Spring Grove at 7 o'clock tonight. So I anticipate that a lot of the community that is really struggling with this and really grieving the loss of these 3 officers will have a place to come together and to share in that grief later today.
Hallie Lang, and live for us there in York County. Thank you so much for that. Of course, our coverage of this deadly shooting continues throughout the morning here on ABC 27 News Daybreak, and of course, anytime at abc27.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC 27. We're excited to announce the new ABC 27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC 27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the home page, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC 27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.